The Planit protein system was designed with one thing in mind, to basically unlock that fifth taste, the world of umami. And that world is made possible through the process of fermentation. Now, we've all heard of it, but how do you do it in a commercial kitchen? There really hasn't been any way to codify that or build a system that can actually unlock that in a safe, repeatable fashion. So that's what this machine is designed to do, is to give jumping off points with our bases, and then chefs do what they do best. We don't exist to create finished food. We do our best work to create new foods that they can then finish. So in essence, the Planit Pod essentially ferments fresh plant-based protein in a stainless steel pan. The finished product is actually that stainless steel pan with a cake of that protein, whatever it was you were making. But that comes out as a solid cake in the pan that can then be sectioned, it can be portioned, sliced, cubed, it can be crumbled or filleted into patties, whatever you're going to do with that. So one of the reasons fermentation has been somewhat blocked from the commercial space is just a basic lack of know-how, and also just the lack of a safe and repeatable way to do it. So that's what the system does. It does all that for you. So you'll notice at first glance, clearly this is something different. We wanted to get our food away from plastic. So stainless steel pan, stainless steel chamber, and every surface is either removable or cleanable or both. And then inside you see this unique A-frame design. We call it the A-frame for obvious reasons. It's designed to help control the moisture level and what happens with condensation. See, the fermentation process naturally generates its own heat. Fermentation requires oxygen, it requires a fuel source, and it requires moisture. So we need water. And there's holes drilled in it at very specific positions to allow the right amount of air to come in and go out as needed to allow for an even fermented process. And even the door comes off for easy cleaning. We need that, right? We've got to have safe practices. Every restaurant has its HACCP plans that it follows. So we've made this as easy as possible. And Waring went a step further. They even gave us a removable drip tray on the front edge here. So that's the easy access and the easy cleanable surfaces, everything stainless steel. The programming is all set to go. So we have a tempeh program, we have a koji program, we have a Planit Protein Blends program, which is what we use for the burger mix and some of our other bases. And then we have a data export, which actually there's a USB port on the side of the unit, so we can export the data from all the cycles that you've been running to show that it's been running at what temperature, how long, and that pasteurization has indeed occurred. All of that is exportable to support your HACCP practice. And then there's also of course, a set clock, because you always want to know what time it is. But the unit will track the time on any cycle and let you know how much time is left. And it'll automatically go into pasteurization mode, especially if you're making one of our plant proteins or a blend. You're going to want to pasteurize that. It'll do it for you intelligently at the end of the fermentation process. So the pod will manage temperature in a variety of ways. It has an array of heating elements that allows for not direct but indirect heating, and that A-frame also helps create a little bit of temperature control and heat distribution. And then there's a fan system that recirculates the air, not inside the chamber, because we actually need a still, calm environment without oxygen rushing through. That actually will disrupt the fermentation process. But we actually do need to cool that chamber a bit when heat spikes, because in fermentation, that biomass will generate its own heat. So as your fermentation occurs, this will allow some of that heat to dissipate meaningfully to keep the fermentation process on track and on time. So the unit also has a sanitized mode, which we'll recommend to be done in certain intervals. Just as a safety precaution, it's a good idea to kind of hyper clean the unit every several uses, especially when you're using this on a daily basis. You'll have your normal cleaning method, but also you'll sanitize it once in a while at a high temperature to give yourself that extra safety step. That's what inspired the Planit Pod, you. We created this to help you do what you do best and do more of it, to create new flavors, new textures, and new food experiences that otherwise wouldn't have been possible. Where do you go next? A new cuisine, a new global flavor? Those are all possible within the pod, because what you get out of it are proteins that are building blocks suitable to pretty much any cuisine style. The creativity is up to you. So welcome to the Planit Pod.